back to playing some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist. Today's video will be going over Noah Kaiba, Seto Kaiba's brother or adopted brother or stepbrother, however you want to look at it. We'll be discussing his background as a character, and we'll go over his deck. At least the kind of deck I can manage to build. Luckily, I looked up because I wanted to do an archetype video at first about this deck, but when I looked it up, I realized Noah Kaiba used some faction of the spirit archetype in his dueling style. So I just blended it all together. So we'll go over his deck and the cards he used in the anime as well. So don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff to Talkative Carl on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. So let's quickly go over these cards one by one, and then we will hop on to the playthrough of the deck. First things first, we'll go over his biggest deck headliner and also slash his deck master, Shinato, King of a Higher Plane. There's a ritual card, fairy type. This card can only be ritual summoned with the ritual spell card, Shinato's Arc. You must also tribute monsters whose total levels equal 8 or more from the field or your hand. When this card destroys a defense position monster and sends it to the graveyard as a result of battle, inflict damage to your opponent's life points equal to the original attack of the destroyed monster. Okay, first spirit monster, Yatagarasu. This card cannot be special summoned. This card returns to the owner's hand during the end phase of the turn it is normal summoned or flipped face up. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, they skip their next draw phase. A lot of the spirit monsters have the same, at least mostly the same effect. They return to the hand after you play it on your turn. So when I was researching the deck, there were certain cards I had to put in my in this deck in order to avoid a chance of getting that card quickly removed off the field when I need one to defend myself. But I'll get to that in a minute. Yamato no Kami. Okay, same returns to the hand after first being played. This card cannot be special summoned except by removing from play one spirit monster from your graveyard. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can destroy one spell or trap card your opponent controls. Yamata Dragon. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, draw cards until you have 5 in your hand. Tsukuyomi. When this card is normal summoned or flip face up, target one face up monster on the field. Change that target to face down defense position. Sacred Spirit of the Ice Barrier. Okay. This card returns to the hand during the end phase of the turn. It's normal summon flip face up, unless you control another face up ice barrier monster. In that case, this card's effect changes to select one monster your opponent controls and return it to the hand instead. So I got 2 of these, luckily. Rietsu. When this card is normal summoned or flip face up, you can reveal one spirit monster from your hand except Risetsu. Then target one face-up attack position monster your opponent controls. Return that target to their hand. You cannot special summon during the turn you activate this effect. Otohime. When this card is normal summon or flip face up, you can target one face up monster your opponent controls. Change that target's battle position. Nikitama. During the turn this card was normal summoned or flip face up, you can normal summon one spirit monster in addition to your normal summon. When this card is sent to the graveyard, draw one card. You must control a spirit monster to activate and to resolve this effect. Manju of the 10,000 Hands. When this card is normal summon or flip summon, you can add one ritual monster or one ritual spell card from your deck to your hand. Izanami. When this card is normal summoned or flip face up, you can discard one card to add one spirit monster from your graveyard to your hand. Inaba White Rabbit. This monster attacks your opponent's life points directly. Hinokagu Suchi. Hinokagu Suchi. If this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, they discard all cards in their hand during the next draw phase before they draw. Great Long Nose. If this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent's life points, your opponent skips their next battle phase. Gradius Option. This card cannot be normal summon or set. This monster can only be special summoned by selecting one face-up Gradius on your side of the field. The attack and defense of this card becomes the same as the attack and defense of the selected Gradius. If this selected Gradius is removed from the field, destroy this card. Dark Dust Spirit. When this card is normal summon or flip face up, destroy all other face up monsters on the field. Chiron the Mage. Once per turn, you can discard one spell card, then target one spell attack card your opponent controls, destroy that target. Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. Cannot be normal summon or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing one light and one dark monster from your graveyard. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. Target one monster on the field, banish that target face up. This card cannot attack during the turn you activate this effect. If this attacking card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, after damage calculation, it can make a second attack in a row. Asura Priest. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Aratama. When this card is normal summon or flip face up, you can add one spirit monster from your deck to your hand except Aratama. Gradius, a high performance jet fighter with power capsules for variable attack capabilities. Giant Soldier of Stone, a giant warrior made of stone. A punch from this creature has earth-shaking results. A lot of Noah's cards are like, for the most part, based on maybe like some Hindu origins. A lot of mythological, well, not even just Hindu, but it's like a good, Eastern and Western mythologies. Is we got Japanese, we got it's probably a good Egyptian, I believe. Maybe Norwegian, like Norway, or like what's Thor from? Not Greek, Norse. I think Norse mythology. Some more Japanese, Hindu. Yeah, and this will be Christian mythology with the angel and the whole arc motif, which is clever. Given his name is Noah, and his two best cards he uses is an arc and an angel. So yeah, okay, got Power Clock of Destiny. That helps with the whole normal summon and worrying about it being returned back to your hand too soon. Move the Power Clock of Destiny. Move the turn count forward by 1 turn. The turn which this card is activated continues as normal. So it moves your turn forward. So this helps when you put the spirit monster on the field, then play Power Clock of Destiny, then it negates its own effect by avoiding putting it back into your hand. Got Earthshaker. Select 2 monster card attributes. Your opponent then selects one of the attributes and destroy all face-up monsters with that attribute on the field. Light. Okay, I do have light and dark. Okay, of course it has Swords of Fear and Light. All face-up monsters your opponent controls face up. This card remains on the field for 3 of your opponent's turns. While this card is face up on the field, monsters your opponent controls cannot declare an attack. Spring of Rebirth. Increase your life points by 500 every time monsters return from the field to the owner's hand. Spirit Energy Settle Machine. As long as this card remains face up on the field, all spirit monsters remain face up on the field and do not return to the owner's hands during the end phase, even if they are normal summoned or flip face up. Discard 1 card from your hand during each of your end phases. If you do not destroy this card, when this card is removed from the field, all face up spirit monsters return to the owner's hands. Shinato's Arc. This card is used to ritual summon Shinato, King of the Higher Plane. You must also tribute monsters whose total levels equal 8 or more from the field or your hand. Sebek's Blessing. Activate only when a monster you control has attacked your opponents directly. Gain life points equal to the battle damage that the monster inflicted to your opponent. Mabai is a shield. When your opponent activates a spell or a trap card or a monster effect that would destroy a monster on the field, pay 1500 life points to negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Okay, Fissure. Destroy the 1 face-up monster your opponent controls that has the lowest attack. If your choice if tied. This is another card I can use to avoid the card return from the field to the hand motif. Select 1 monster on your side of the field and remove it from play until your next standby phase. While the monster is removed from play, the monster card zone of the selected monster cannot be used. Dark Hole. Destroy all monsters on the field. Silicon Laser. You can only equip this card to Gradius. Increase the attack of Gradius by 300 points. When the equipped Gradius attacks with an attack that is higher than the defense of a defense position monster, inflict the difference as battle damage to your opponent's life points. Creature Swap. Each player chooses 1 monster they control and switch control those monsters with each other. Those monsters cannot change their battle positions for the rest of this turn. So this is another card I can use. So I can place 1 spirit monster on the field, switch it from whatever monster they have, then the effect of returning to the hand still is in play, but it will return to me and I still keep their monster. Cold Wave. This card can only be activated at the start of your main phase 1. Till your next turn, you and your opponent cannot play or set any spell or trap cards. And then Change of Heart. Target 1 monster your opponent controls. Take control of it until the end phase. So yeah, that is his cards. So I'm gonna take a minute here. Okay, let's give this a shot. But oh wait a minute, I gotta check something here. Because a few cards that's only in the anime that doesn't really exist. But after a certain time, you would think, especially as long as Yu-Gi-Oh's been playing on the air since early 2000s, any card, at least in Duel Monsters and the Yu-Gi-Oh GX series, you'll think those cards from when they came out that was only in the anime purposes was made to be put into real life circulation. I mean, some did, but you know, they should have started like going back and okay, certain cards, you know, like this, you know, Noah Kaiba remind me of a duel that Lecter from one of the big fives, he had a card called Mask of Perplexity or something like that, and it blinded Kaiba's a mask you can put on the opponent in a sense, blinds the opponent and forces them to make an attack, but in Kaiba could not see who he was given the orders to attack, so he just chose a face down card and ended up attacking his one of his own creatures that he had on the field. So in a way you can make it to where if you're, let's say if like you and your opponent has like two or more, if there's two or more cards, monster cards on the field, you put them all face down on the opponent who activated the trap card. You can put all those monsters on your side of the field, whichever available slots that you have. Put them face down, shuffle them around, and then your the opponent who's making the matter of fact, it was something to the effect where it's like, I mean, shuffle all monsters except the one monster your opponent is attacking with. If it's the only one, then if you have like two or more monsters on your side of the field, you can just shuffle two of those monsters in a face down position or something like that, where the opponent doesn't know who's attacking really, and they still make their attack, but they have a chance of destroying an opponent and trying to attack a monster that they don't intend to attack because they're too powerful, or the monster they want to get rid of is avoided the destruction or something like that. Or you can gather, if their opponent has an extra monster, you shuffle there so they might end up attacking their own creature too, something to that effect. I mean, put a little bit of thought into it, but that's me spitballing. I just had to check something. Okay, so let's go ahead and give Noah's cards a shot. Well, we definitely have to try taking on Kaiba's deck with Noah's deck. I might not win right off the bat. I played the Spear deck at least a couple of times, but it's on like a handheld game many years ago. and I think I still have the game, but you know, I don't have a handheld Nintendo thing anymore. But the spirit decks were, they're a decent set of cards to play. They're nothing to sneeze at. If you play it in the right way, they're very devastating. See? Okay, now Noah Kaiba, he, I think I spoke about him briefly one time, but he was a kid that I think I spoke about him during the Big Five video that I did. Check that out on my YouTube channel when you get the chance. Wow, Shinado was buried so deep in my doggone deck. Perfect. Spirit Reaper. Yeah, I touched on it, the story during the Big Five video that I did, but basically, uh, Norm was a young child of Gozaburo who adopted Seto after his son got ill. He was going to die anyway, so he took the chance to imprint his son's mind into a computer, and therefore that's how he wanted to keep his son alive. But Gozaburo stopped visiting him after he just, couldn't keep up, with just the constant, like, he can't view his son through a computer. The Gozaburo was like a real crappy father. Not like the crappiest of fathers by the standards of anime, because anime has like a lot of anime has some world record bad parents. Okay. There you go. I was worried for a second. I didn't think I was gonna make that one. But yeah, Gozaburo not only treated Seto and Mokuba like crap, not like beat him or anything like that, but try to force his idealisms onto Seto. That's why Seto became such an ass when we first saw him in the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! But he's still an ass, but he now has some sense of consciousness. He has a conscience now. Gozaburo kind of browbeat the kid into ignoring his conscience, other than his care for his brother. Seto cared very little of anybody at all. And but Kaiba, after doing Yugi, he reclaimed that sense of right and wrong. He has a dickish way of doing it, but he still got a sense of right and wrong. It's kind of like Vegeta in a way. Vegeta was like a straight up bad guy when he was first introduced, but then he grew to like have some sense of morality, soon after. But with Seto being the add one spell from the deck to your hand. Yeah. Yeah, Kaiba. I mean, Noah Kaiba became very resentful. After a certain period of time, became very resentful of not only his father, but also with Seto and Mokuba, especially because they, in a sense, took uh, took away the love away from his from took the love from his father away from him in a sense, and not realizing Gozaburo just did not give a crap about any of them. I mean, at a time he did, obviously, but you know, crap on a stick. Yeah, can't win this. So yeah, set. Sorry, I keep calling him Seto, because little known fact that green hair Noah has was pretty much based on what in the Japanese manga or the Japanese version of the show of what Seto Kaiba supposed to have looked like. Yep. Cold wave. Now. I can just keep doing that as many times as I want. So yeah, after a while, Noah's mind just became like, you know, he kind of lost his mind because he's been in that computer for years. Even though Ghostboro made it, to the point where it's supposed to have been like happy, like a utopia for him. He can do whatever he wants. He never grows old, but he was not happy. He was essentially trapped, and there was nothing he can do about it. Because it's like the whole Matrix thing. If you remember the first Matrix movie, it was pretty much like that. It's like it wasn't living for him in a way. He was just a thing. In his mind, he was just a thing. Not a real boy. He couldn't experience things as you would as a kid growing up, learning new things. Even though you had like information at your fingertips in a computer, it wasn't the same as experiencing the real world. Embracing people. and then save that. Go back to the hand. Don't know why he didn't use that a long time ago. He's down to 500 life points and he's just now using Mirror Force. There we go. Like I said, played the right way, the spirit monsters are pretty effective. But the thing is, you have to either negate their effects altogether or try to get them in the graveyard as possible, or one or the other. You cannot allow them to like use their abilities more so than anything else, or you can even make sure they are removed from play altogether. Well, like I was saying, yeah, Noah definitely get rid of Gearfried. Yeah, Noah like was so such a devious little kid. He's not on the same level as like Merrick or how like Pegasus was, but I mean he could be. He definitely could be. He's like those mid-level villains in a way. That's the best way to describe him. Like those mid-level villains. Just in case. Because I know he has kunai with chains somewhere down there. Probably got scapegoat too. There you go. Should have thought about attacking with Time Wizard before summoning Dark Dust Spirit, but oh well. Just in case. I kind of want to summon my Gradius and Gradius option. Don't know why I did not put my body as a shield as a deterrent. Oh well. Might use Noah's deck again when I eventually do a video for all the major Yu-Gi-Oh villains. Well, he's not major, but I want to put him in the list. I want Noah on that list because his deck is pretty good. 1 second here, just so I can remind myself. Check. I want to make sure, because I've been making sure I take a picture of certain decks I want to get back to, because I should have done this a long time ago, but there's certain decks I just want to play again. Okay, go ahead and continue. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Noah. He redeemed himself at the end, but man, he was like a tragic character. It's like one of those few. Well, I don't want to say few. There's a lot of tragic characters. Darts is not really on that list. It's tragic, but it wasn't. The Seal Orichalco's arc wasn't that fleshed out as much as it could have been. Nor was the final arc when they traveled to Egypt, and it's supposed to have been on Kaiba's backstory as much as Yami Yugi or Atem. But you know, the creator wasn't feeling well. He had to go through surgery, so because he's been like working himself like a dog, and he just needed to take some time to recuperate. So the final arc with the whole Egypt stuff wasn't as fleshed out as it could have been. But Noah's story was tragic. He was obviously going through what he's going through. Of course, he probably would have gone nuts. It was pretty obvious that was probably going to turn out that way. But he was just a kid. Something happened to him. Despite Gozaburo being like a crappy father, he did what I'm gonna go against Taya for some reason. I just feel like it. He did what he thought was appropriate at the time. Because, you know, any parent with the resources, they would try to keep, if something happens with a kid, they try to keep them around as long as possible. Can't believe I haven't took a picture of that Malados. Did I take a picture of the Malados deck? So that's how I could have sworn I did. Hope I didn't delete it on accident. Well, not accident, but without thinking. Probably did. Yep. Oh well. I mean, I can always put that back. Uh, hand. Shoot. I can't believe I'm getting wrecked by Taya. Oh my god. Uh, yeah, yeah. I want to get back to using this deck. This is like a decent deck to get back to. Uh, I'm pretty sure one of the cards. I think it was the what was that spirit card that looks like a crow? That was on a ban list for the longest time because if you play one of the older games, if you manage to attack somebody's life points directly, they skip the next draw phase with that card, and especially if they don't have no cards to draw from or play, then they pretty much dead in the water, and it was banned for that particular reason. Oh, there's my Gradius. try that again. Good thing I chose the right monster to attack with. What do you guys think of Noah Kaiba as a character? I mean, when he was doing Kaiba, I mean, he was like very crappy when he was turning everybody to stone because he was in effect was losing. Is one of those sore loser characters on the show. So not only he was turning everybody to stone, he turned Kaiba and Mokuba to stone. He didn't like the way things was turning out for him. Yatagarasu, that was the card I was talking about. This is exactly why this card was banned for such a long time. Check this out. Can't draw. Apparently the card is in her hand is useless. And a lot of times in previous games, the AI would just effectively quit. Don't think this will happen in this game, but oh, let's just end it. Oh, don't know why he didn't use that before, but whatever. A lot of strange AI choices. Let's keep doing this and see if the AI will just quit. Because I'm curious if this, I'm curious if there's still a thing. Maybe it's just the older games where the AI just automatically quits on you after this Yatagarasu effect keeps playing out. Because I can see why this is banned. You keep spamming this in a way where your opponent cannot do anything. Because if they can't play any cards in their hand and they don't have nothing on the field and you're negating their draw phase, that will be a problem for a lot of people. As long as I got cards to discard, I can keep using spiritual energy. Curious. No. Once this match is over, I will be hopping on to some more Red Dead Redemption 2 for at least a couple hours. At some point tonight, I want to check out Overwatch, because I believe later on, around maybe like 7, they'll do another massive update for the Halloween, the new year of the Halloween theme they got going on. I saw their little trailer for it. I think Winston gets like a werewolf costume. I'm eager to check that out. Wow. Okay. I guess in this game, the AI doesn't quit automatically. Okay. That was Noah Kaiba's deck. Yeah. Like I said, I'll definitely get back to this deck. This is actually a pretty decent deck. If you want to make this deck up, this is roughly how you do it. You know, you don't have to do it exactly, but try to keep the same core aspects to it. Like, you don't need Gradius or Gradius option, for example, but definitely have something like Dimension Hole, or My Body as a Shield, Power Clock of Destiny, and of course the Spiritual Energy Settle Machine, just to make sure your spirit monsters, if you want to keep them on the field to defend you, have these cards in a way set up in a way to be used to avoid their negative effects, so that way you don't be left undefended. But yeah, we'll definitely get back to this archetype. But give me at least 7 minutes to get set up for the Red Dead Redemption 2. But yeah, Noah Kaiba, like, very tragic character. He did redeem himself by opposing his father, so Yugi and his team can escape the virtual world. But yeah, he had like a great, story. I wish we could done more with it. I also wish that Yugi wasn't the one to beat him. Like, this arc, the whole virtual world arc, was supposed to be Kaiba's thing. Just like with Dragon Ball Z Super, when Frieza came back, it's supposed to have been Vegeta's moment. You can't always have your main character to be the savior every time, but this is anime. I mean, this, the rival has his arch nemesis too. It's like, Superman and Lex Luthor. Batman can't be the one to swoop in to defeat Lex Luthor. That doesn't look right. And Superman can't swoop in to take on the Joker every time Batman is in danger. That's their own little thing. They have their little team ups, of course, but each person has their moment. And Noah Kaiba, it was Seto's moment to shine, to be like the big star in this role. He defeated his father. He should have been the one to defeat Noah himself. Yugi did not need to step in, at least in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion. But yeah, Noah is in my opinion, he's a great character. I just wish they did more with him. And the big five was like decent henchman villains, even though they started out looking like they could be like bigger villains, but they were not. They were just corporate greedy bastards. So wasn't much there to do, but I'm glad they did something with them, because they were just faceless people. But Noah's arc wasn't without its benefits. It did give us like some good duels and some moments for the other characters to shine. But yeah, so I will see you all in like a good 7 to 10 minutes. So sit tight. I will see you all in a little bit.